Hi everybody, thank you for joining us for our weekend weather outlook. I'm Philip Duncan. The forecast at the moment is looking a little bit messy as we've got this large low over New Zealand for Thursday and you can see it on the animated wind map. So I'll break it down region by region, or at least section by section. If you go for the top 1/3 of the country, there's a very light northwest flow just coming into these areas here. So fairly mild, but a few showers and downpours also caught up on it. You head a little bit further south, Waikato and into the Central Plateau, and many other parts of the North Island have very light winds. So we've been seeing fog patches in that area. Then you drift down towards Hawke's Bay in the lower part of the North Island, and you've got a southerly blowing through there with rain and low cloud. And then you get into the South Island where you've got a big southeasterly airflow that's coming in. It'll drive showers, drizzle patches and low cloud into the eastern areas. But the flip side is, if you're over on the western areas, sunny and mainly dry for the next few days. So that's the animated map. Let's take a look at Friday in a bit more detail. You can see the two areas of low pressure. The one just to the east is actually a bit deeper than the one to the west, so therefore a bit more wind in there. So it's a bit windy out at sea, and that will just be maybe a little bit breezy for Banks Peninsula, but most places won't be too bad. So the airflow is coming in from the easterly quarter. It is not overly mild either for those eastern areas because the airflow is coming in from the southeast. In the north, it's a different setup. With this low, the airflow is subtropical, so it's mild with more isolated downpours, more isolated fog patches, and that messy forecast we've been talking about continues. Sunniest, driest weather in Southland and the west coast. Now to the weekend. So the two lows are sitting next to each other now. This one has deepened a little bit, so it's got a bit more intensity to it, just a little bit more. So we'll see a bit more rain. Some of those downpours, perhaps over here on the eastern side or northeastern side, might be a little bit heavier. It's subtropical, remember, coming around as an easterly, while on the South Island, low number 2 is producing a different set of weather. You've got colder southerlies and maybe a couple of drizzle patches or showers. Otherwise, much of the South Island is dry, but the east will be cooler and cloudier because of that southerly setup. And like I say, west coast, that's the place to be. And then we get to Sunday, where once again, the two lows are sort of now merging together finally out to the east, and that's producing more of these southeasterlies. But for the first time, they're actually coming into the upper North Island. So temperatures drop on Sunday nationwide as that southerly comes on through. But in the South Island, high pressure out here is coming on in, so you might be getting frosts forming, maybe on Sunday morning, if not maybe Monday morning. So let's go to next week. This is the start of next week, and you can see high pressure to the north, and it sort of squeezes through to the South Island as well. So there could be frosts, there might be fog patches as well, especially in the South Island. And in the North Island, you've got a bit of a cooler breeze coming through, isolated coastal showers, but look what's waiting in the wings, a big spring-like system. So when we go to the middle of next week, this is next Wednesday, it looks very spring-like. Lots and lots of winds coming, lots of northwest winds coming through, and that will keep the temperatures up in the east. It might be colder though in the south, because as the week transitions, as we go through next week, the southerlies come in and the temperatures do drop. Not a major blast at this point, but it will get a bit colder for a time later next week in the South Island, but the North Island's looking windy, showery, and very typical for this time of the year. That is all from me. We'll update you again on Friday with the very latest for the weekend. We'll also take a look at next week. And by the way, before I go, the poll running at Weather Watch right now, do you consider today the end of winter? It's actually coming in 3rd place out of 4 options, so that's surprising. So go to our website, weatherwatch.co.nz, please vote. It's quite an interesting poll. We'll catch you again tomorrow.